Hello, you guys, and welcome to our WIN event. This one is top 5 of 250. We all saw the 250 list, and we wanted to get to you the top 5 women on the 250 list and really deep dive and figure out what's making them work so well. But, guys, welcome to our event today. This is a virtual meetup at WIN. And as most of you know, because you all are members of WIN, WIN is the Women's Impact Network. I am Smita Singh. I am one of the board of directors. And I wanted to reiterate our mission. For those of you that are not members, I would really encourage y'all to become a member of WIN. And WIN is dedicated to elevating the experiences of EXP women real estate agents and employees by fostering community, mentorship, leadership development, and personal empowerment. We recognize that professional growth is only sustainable when women are nurtured holistically, mind, body, and spirit. And that is what we all are endeavoring to bring to you. Some of you may have joined us in our Betsy Myers series. We did a Betsy Myers series on imposter syndrome. And I can't even begin to tell you how powerful that was. It was life changing for a few of us. We also have several series coming up. We have our WIN Summit coming up in September. So make sure, if you are not on the workplace chat for Women's Impact Network, please go there, join us, because you're going to hear all about it. Well, today I am super duper excited because I have these amazing women. And when I was talking to them, we were talking about what we're going to talk about today. But I have about an hour 15, and I have these amazing powerhouse women. So, my promise to you, my commitment to you is that I would like for you to join today, have fun, ask us questions. So, think of it as a virtual meetup. We're all having coffee, maybe white wine. That's what I would like. And we're just having a chat with these amazing women to figure out what they're doing in their business that can bring value to us. But my commitment to you is to bring them back. And if they would like to, bring them back for deep dives and master classes for you guys. So if there is anything, any topic that you're resonating with today, do reach out to us and let us know. And I am happy to bring them back for a longer session. So, guys, we're going to get started today. And the first amazing EXP real estate agent that is coming on is Paula.
Hi, everyone. How are you?
Hi, Paula. How are you doing?
Good, good, good.
Fantastic. So I know that this is you and I talking, but know that we have tons and tons of women listening in. This is also being recorded and live streamed on Workplace, so people are going to go back in and hear it. So really, this is just amazing to have you on. Tell me a little bit about yourself, Paula. Where are you from? What are you doing? I know we talked a little bit about real estate and how real estate has taken over our lives. So
Yes.
tell me a little bit more.
My name is Paula. I am a resident. I live here in Cleveland, Ohio. I've been living here since 2004. I am originally from Uruguay. When we first came to the United States, we did live in New York, as everyone else does, that they come out of country. We ended up here in Cleveland, Ohio, and my earlier life in real estate, I was a leasing agent. That's how I started off. I was a leasing agent. From there, I became a property manager, and from property management, I started exploring my options and becoming a real estate agent. And yeah, I just took off from there. I got my license, and my first year, I sold 100 properties, and I've been
Okay.
consistent the
Okay.
last
We have
3
to we
years.
have to pause that for a second. Oh my God! In your first year, you sold 100 properties.
Yes, yes.
That is
Unfortunately, I wasn't with EXP though.
okay. But hey, you're here now, so that's what
Yes, yes.
matters.
But no, I started off, I just took off. Like, I always seen it, like, I never seen it like a clock in job either. Like, to me, it's just a lifestyle. I made it into just my life 100%. Everyone that I meet down the line, I'm going to be able to help them. And that's just how it is. A lot. If you keep that connection with anyone that you're meeting, that person's going to bring you business. And that's just what I personally have seen that with my business taking off. I've never paid for leads or anything like that. I always been a person that just meets someone and talks to them and I always keep that thought in the back of my head, like I could help them with this. And then when the time comes with the opportunity, I just connect them there. I don't
That
know.
is fantastic. That is
It becomes
fantastic.
a superpower.
That's right. No, so tell me, you moved to Ohio 2 years
Mhm.
ago, and that's when you started real estate.
No, I came to Cleveland in 2002. So
Okay,
yeah. So I've been living in Cleveland for no 2004. I'm sorry. I've been living in Cleveland for since 2004.
got
And
it.
like I grew up here. I know everyone here. I know Cleveland's taking off. It is a big market here. I think we are still like one of the cheapest cities in the whole United States to live in, which is why you have a lot like the volume is greater than it is in any other city, especially if these houses are cheap.
Yes, yes.
The time is changing. I mean, it's everywhere here. Properties that were like 50 grand a few years ago, now they're like almost quadruple the price of that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just growing as everyone else is.
That's right. That's right. So tell me, 100 deals in your first year. Talk to me about client relationships. What is it that you do different to be able to, build that relationship with them? And 1 year, 100 deals is not easy. So I'm sure there was
Mhm.
a lot going on behind the scenes. So give
Yeah.
us a preview, like open up the curtain a little bit. Tell me, what do you do differently to build client relationships?
So since I've started out, I've always like I watch a lot of Tom Ferry videos. Like I think everyone does when they're
Tom Perry videos, yes.
yeah, and one thing he said that stuck out to me that I've like hold on to that since the beginning of my career is to at least try to talk to 7 people or more every single day. So
Hmm.
like the more people that you're meeting and the more people that you're talking to, the more people are going to be talking about you and what you do, and that just opens another door for you to have more passive income with people calling you looking for your services to help them out. And that's been one of the ones that I've stuck to because I've seen that has been the greater return from clients from there, especially referrals too. But referrals are usually just any deal that you have. You just treat that client good, which is the way that I usually do it too. Like if I'm meeting someone, like for the first time, like we leave the awkwardness at the door because I want you to feel comfortable. And I've noticed whenever you do make people feel comfortable, they want to work with you because nobody wants to work with you if they don't feel comfortable. And from the beginning, like I establish it, like me and you, like right now we're in a relationship until we buy your house, and then that's it. Like that's it. It's just a relationship that you just need to make, and that connection you need to make with your client. And once the connection is there, they're gonna trust you 100%.
I love it. I love it. So you're building authenticity with authenticity, and you're bringing
Yeah.
it to the table, and you're telling them that, hey, you know what? There's no awkwardness here. We're just gonna have a
Mhm.
chat, and we're building a relationship. So
Yeah.
and I really like what you said about meeting as many people as you can. So
Mhm.
talk to me about that a little bit. Like, are these intentional meetings? You go out with people. Like, how are you meeting with as many people as you can?
So when I first started out, I used to just go on my Facebook and I literally wrote everyone on my Facebook list. Like I'm a real estate agent. Like if you need help, I can help you. And I remember in the beginning, like the early stages, I used to write at least like 50 people every day. Like this is what I'm
Wow.
doing. If your family or you or anyone you know needs some help, you can always reach out to me and I'm here to help you. And like till this day, when people write me back, like on Facebook, I'll have that message on there because I like at some point sent it to them. So yeah, that's how I started off in the beginning. I guess just like your circle, just let your circle know. A big one that I do, like every single place that I go to, I leave my business cards. So like
Yeah.
I think if you'll go anywhere in Cleveland, you'll find my business cards. Like that's how I
Fantastic.
also yeah, that's how I've gotten a lot of like clients from there too. A lot of times, like when I do show properties, I leave my business cards. I've had good luck with people picking them up and calling me from there. It's just different things.
I love it. But I really like the fact that you don't have a problem in messaging people and actually like just cold messaging them on
Yeah.
Facebook. Because I think a lot of people get hung up, a lot of agents get hung up to say, oh, okay, I don't know what they're going to think about it. Like, are they really going to want to work with me? But
Mhm.
I mean, so you're just out there and you're telling everybody that you're a real estate agent. You know how they say in our industry, don't be a secret agent. So
Yeah,
you're doing the exact opposite of that.
yeah, you want like you have to be like me. I'm very open and like I show off my life to Instagram because I don't care. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what people think about you. Because
Yeah.
those people are not gonna pay your bills or anything, but they're gonna pay your bills if they're buying a house with you. So you want them to be cool with you, and you want
Yes.
to just have a relationship with them. So then down the line, you're helping them and they're helping you. So it's kind of like a domino effect. It all becomes a domino effect.
100%. And I really like, I think this is the second time you've said that you're helping them.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you come with that mindset to
Hmm.
say that, hey, I have something of value to give to them, and
Exactly.
this is what I'm providing to you, it's coming with a mindset of abundance versus a mindset of lack, where you're like, oh my God, work with me. Why would
Yeah.
you work with me? Versus, hey, tell me how I can help you. I have all of this and I'm going to get you, it's going to be smooth when you go get your home. So
Yeah.
I really like that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you two questions.
Yes.
What is one thing that agents should stop doing if they want to attract better clients? So that's my first question. What is
Mhm.
one thing that agents should stop doing if they want to attract better clients? And number two, what is one takeaway that you're going to give all our members that are watching today to say, you know what, do this for the next 1 month and watch your business grow?
Honestly, being genuine. A lot of people like that. People appreciate that people are just grateful to have someone that is generally there to help them find a house. And yeah, sometimes you have some tenants, I mean some like buyers that want to see a million houses and they don't want to offer for it. And yeah, it's a little bit annoying. But that's where you have to get like more strategized and just remember like whenever you go look at these houses, yeah, like they want a garage, like they want a basement, or like if you want to start taking notes of the houses that you see with the square footage and you put that idea into their head, like, okay, we're just not going to look at any more houses that are 1,500 square feet or less, because then we're wasting our time and we want you to have a house. We don't want to keep wasting our time seeing houses that are not going to benefit you. So I guess you learn your client as it goes and you start like seeing houses with them. A lot of what I do when I see houses with my buyers, I educate them through like while we look at the house, because I have like a construction background. My dad is a flipper, but whenever I was growing up, like my dad used to like fix houses and stuff, so I used to go with my dad to work, so I seen a lot of these things. So, and then even as real estate agents, when you start seeing something so much, you're gonna learn what you're looking at. And when you're bringing in buyers who are just starting their search on, buying a house, they're going to be like, oh, like, I don't know where I'm seeing or anything. They're going to get overwhelmed. So you want to be that hand that's going to help them and tell them exactly what they're looking at. So then whenever you guys start looking at other houses, they know what old electricity looks like. They know what foundation issues could potentially look like. You want to tell them, like, this is standard. This, you could always get in general inspection. But there's a way for them to understand what they're looking at if you're explaining it.
Love
And
it. You're
that's
the expert.
yes.
Yeah, no, and I think that's like when you're talking to me, I can feel that authenticity. So you
Mhm.
are the expert that you're taking them. You're not just a tour guide. You're giving them value authentically. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a very quick rapid fire for you. One thing that you
Okay.
want our members to take away.
One thing
What would
for
you
what
like
I
them to do this next month so their business is fantastic?
oh call everyone in their
Love
mind
it. Give me a number.
100 times a day.
Give me a number.
Write everyone on Facebook. Write everyone on your Instagram. Make a couple TikTok videos.
I love
Make
it. So give
people
me
laugh.
how many phone calls or how many people should they reach out to this month in the month of May?
1 second. I have to do some math. I need a calculator.
I
Hold
love
on.
it.
So this month of May, we got 31 days. They should reach out to 217 people.
Ooh, 217
That's
people.
easy. That's easy.
I
You just have
love
to go
it,
through
you
your
guys.
Facebook friends, Instagram followers. If you
Love
don't
it.
have any, just go to the coffee shop and meet a whole bunch of people.
Fantastic, Paula. Thank you so much.
Of course.
I know this was super quick, but we'll chat more for sure. And guys, this is Paula's takeaway for you. Reach out to 217 people in the month of May. I love it. Actually, this is going to be my challenge too. So maybe I will do
Love
it.
it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much,
Thank
Paula.
you.
All right, guys, that was amazing. She has been in with EXP, and last year she did 102 deals. That is amazing. So we thank Paula for being here. We will see her back again when we do our Q&A. But next up, we have Jill.
Hi.
Hi, Jill. How are you
I'm
doing?
doing good, thanks.
Fantastic. Are you ready for us?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. So you had mentioned that you've only been a real estate agent for the past 4 years, and all
Correct.
4 of them were with EXP.
Correct.
I
Yes.
love it because it's the same with me. I have never been anywhere except EXP. So I'm like EXP born and brought up. So that's awesome. Jill, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I will. So, my husband has been a real estate broker for 20 years, mainly in commercial real estate.
Hmm.
And he was a broker for another large franchise firm and decided to pop over to EXP before EXP really even had a commercial division.
Yeah.
And so he's like, well, I'm just going to learn to sell residential real estate.
Yes.
And so he said, wow, this is easy for him. He loved it. And he said, I'm just going to keep selling residential. So he kind of still does both.
Yeah.
But so as he got busier, he said, I need help. So he said, will you just get your license and help me? I said, okay, sure. We have 4 sons. They're all teenage to adult now. And we have several businesses. We have rentals, and we have an online resale business. We have a warehouse and staff, and I've run that for years. That was kind of my baby that I started. I was so bored. So I said, sure, I'll get my license. I'll help you. So I got it. And then when I got going, I said bye-bye to him about 6 months into it, not to the marriage, but to working with him.
Yes.
And because I just found I had my own client base, and I didn't really like the way he did business. Not that he didn't do business bad. It wasn't the way I do it. So I just kind of said, okay, here, I'm going to just figure this out. And then I found out how much I loved it. So I sold 1 house my first year. I was thrilled. So my first year I sold 1. My second year I sold 12.
Yeah.
My third year I sold 56. And last year I did 140-ish.
Wow.
So it was and now I'm like, it's just, I want to sell less now. I need to
Yes.
work smarter, not harder. You guys, know all those things.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love it. So 140 homes last year. Tell me, Jill, was there a turning point in your career? Like, what was that moment when you knew that you were going to go build something of your own?
Okay, so I would say that it was really it's when I found what I just called white space. I found an area in our community of clients that were flowing into the market that no one had really captured, and it was right as COVID was getting started, and realtors were having to pivot. A lot of the agents in our community were not pivoting. There are 1,200 agents in our community. They weren't pivoting. And so when I saw this space, and I was kind of already in it because it had to do with the local large university and all of the people coming in buying there for their children to have a townhouse to live in while they're in college, or parents coming just to buy a place for them to have to stay in when they come visit their kids and short-term rent it when they're not there. There's just this real community in this town. And as I was seeing all these people kind of flowing in and nobody knew how to capture them, I was like, I know I can do this because my kids were at the university. My parents moved here to help start the university years ago with many, many others. So I was like, I'm going to figure this out. So that's kind of when everything tilted for me.
Love it. So you actually saw a certain aspect of the market that was not being serviced, and you said, okay, this is a white space, I'm going to go in and become that gorilla and just take over and do
Well,
140.
well, I wasn't planning on that. So let me tell you, very pivotal for me was that first year when, and I think we've all been there, when we just want to be busy. All we want to do is be busy, and we just want the phone to ring and somebody call us and they want us to help them buy or sell a house. Like, we're just waiting for that. Well,
Yeah.
I was like, why would anybody call me? I don't even know what I'm doing. I mean, sometimes I don't feel like I know what I'm doing now, but I know 4 years more what I'm doing than, before. So I just got in the world, and I took as many classes as I could. As I would just, every day, I would just try to take one class. Even if I didn't even know what the class was about, I was like, well, I'll just learn something else, because maybe something is going to hit me and it's going to cause me to, come up with an idea.
Yeah.
So one of the classes I took, and I've told this to different EXP execs as I've connected with them, it was a class on Zillow marketing. Well, I didn't even know a thing about Zillow. I didn't even know what Zillow was until I became a realtor. And I didn't know marketing. I didn't know ad dollars. I did not even know that world. But I had a very successful resale business that used platforms, pay to play platforms that I had made me quite a bit of money. So for me to say, oh, this is just a pay to play platform, that I didn't even have to think about that.
Yeah.
But someone who was a former marketing exec at Zillow had come to EXP and was teaching this class. And he kind of told us what to do. He said, go get these ad dollars, go take these leads. This is how you handle them. And here's, by the way, my number. Call me if you have any questions. So I was like, well, can't hurt, can't hurt. So I did. I followed all the steps, and I knew I wasn't going to do it forever. I just went and asked somebody for ad dollars. I'd never done a deal. They said, sure. They gave me $500 a month. We're like, sure, let's go. So then I went on. That's how I started seeing this white space. I kept getting these calls of all these that had no realtor, that really didn't know how to find a realtor. And that's when I realized, oh my goodness, these people are everywhere. How do I find them outside of Zillow?
Yeah.
But then one more step, and I don't want to dominate this conversation, is I
would love to hear it, so keep going, Jill.
I kept taking them to one community, these university parents that wanted to buy a place they could short-term rent and come visit their kids. I kept taking them to one community that I felt was priced too low. And I couldn't believe it. And so I kept taking them, and I kept selling at this one community. They were these condos, and we even bought two because we thought they were such a good price.
Investment,
so
yeah.
I ended up selling half of that entire community. Wow. Just because I kept bringing these people here with such an easy sell that the builder called me and said, you sold more than my realtor.
Wow.
Said, I'm terminating her and hiring you. You have all these clients. He didn't know they all came from Zillow. He thought I just had all these people that I worked. So he hired me to do all his new construction after that. And I started doing that with him. And then a developer in town saw kind of the combo. And he called me one day. He said, I don't want any of these big franchise chains that are around here that have done, new communities forever. He goes, I've seen how they've done them. Nothing really interests me. Whatever you two are doing, I like. So come pitch me. So I did. And so I just inked a deal with him. I just finished one development for him. I'm doing 2 more now. And I just inked a deal to do 7 more after that.
Love it.
I just say those classes with the XP, you just know what's going to hit you, and it's going to give you an idea.
That's fantastic. And I think you bring up a really good point, Jill. I really want everybody to take that away, because I will say EXP training platforms, I mean, there's so much of it. And what you did is you went in, you took all those classes the first year when it was a little slow, and it just helped you blossom. The other thing that for me, another takeaway from what you said is just, put your blinders on and go deep instead of going wide, because that's what you did. You just knew what your what your expertise is, what's working for you, and you just doubled down on it, which is fantastic. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations. I am going to ask you, Jill, can you tell us one thing that real estate agents should not be doing, and one thing that you would like for them to take away from our short time here.
Okay. So I bet nobody does this that's on this call is do not send an offer in without some kind of proof of funds or a pre-approval letter. I get it all the time, and I literally can't believe it. That still people, and they're like, "Oh, we'll send it in a few days." I'm like, "No, that's not an offer. It's not an offer. If you can't tell that you can actually buy the property." So that's, I would say, number one. And then you said, did you say a takeaway?
Yes. Yes. One thing that you want them to do in the month of May, which is going to help them propel their business.
Okay. So I'm just going to tell you what I do. And if this resonates with you all, go for it. My main sphere of business all comes from Facebook. Now, y'all can see me. I'm 55. There's a demographic that's Facebook. Some of you guys may be 25 and you're like, no thanks.
That's
but
right.
If any of you hit in that demographic, all my business comes from that. So I would say post everything. And I get people that will just walk up to me in town and say, you've got to be the busiest realtor out there in the whole entire area. Well, I'm just posting about it. So they just see what I'm doing, and then I'm front of mind. So I'm going to call, Jill when I need to buy or sell. So I would just say, make sure you don't miss the free social media. And that's all I use. I don't have Zillow leads anymore. I don't pay for any advertising or marketing, zero. I can hardly keep up with what I've got. So Facebook is all I do. But just don't miss something that's right there in front of you that's free.
Awesome. I love it. And, we talked to Paula as well, and she was talking about not being a secret agent to go out and talk to as many people. You're saying the same thing, just on a different platform. It is so important. I feel like that's the thread is prevalent in all of us that are successful, is that just put yourself out there, no matter whichever platform makes you feel comfortable. Like you said, could be TikTok, Instagram, going out to coffee shops, whatever that is. But the goal is to put yourself out there. I love it. So guys, if you're using whatever social media platform, start posting. Yes. Love it. Thank you so much, Jill. Thank you so much for joining us. Awesome, guys. This is amazing. I know we're doing like short bursts, but I'm just getting so much value out of this. I almost feel like I need to do a summary of this and send it to you all on our workplace. Okay, next up we have Carrie. Or maybe not. I think we have Stacy. Hi, Stacy. I think you're muted. Yes. So guys, I believe Carrie was not able to join us today, and that's okay, because we're just going to have more time in Q&As. So don't forget to send us your questions. We're going to take each one of them, and I'm going to have all these amazing ladies come up at the end, and we're just going to have a blast. So hi, Stacy. How are you?
Nice to meet you. Thank you for having me. I'm awesome.
Absolutely.
Good day to be alive, as my husband always says.
I love it. Yes. And grateful for every day that we get. I mean, it's, I'll share something this past week. I've just in my sphere, just a lot of not so good news, of passing and just stuff like that. And it's been very heavy. And I tell you, that's one thing that I wake up and I tell my kids and my husband that, we're just grateful. Like, let's all just be grateful that we're here and we're doing what we're supposed to do.
100%.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us, Stacy. And I wanted to touch upon, so you went from 10 million to 26 million within 5 years by doing some business restructuring. So that's one thing that I want to talk about, but tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I've actually been in business for 28 years.
Wow.
So restructuring at my age and that long was definitely on purpose, and EXP definitely helped with that. But I was with Remax. I was with Keller Williams before I came to EXP. EXP was like, when it hit Ohio, there was like less than 100 agents and only like 2 in Central Ohio. I'm from Columbus, Ohio. So it's kind of the EXP who.
Yeah.
But it literally opened doors for me, because for my first 21 years of real estate, I had kind of hit a natural ceiling, which was that 10 million mark. And I did. In 2020, I was like, you know what? I can do more. I'm seeing with EXP, my old brokerages, no one was opening their playbooks. Not even the brokers were helping us. No one doing 50 houses, 100 houses. No one was showing me how to do it.
Yeah.
And it was totally different mindset here. And so I'm going to actually probably blend a lot of what our great ladies were just talking about. Because EXP, the tools that were there, I took advantage of that in 2020. And that's when I said, you know what, I need a bigger sphere and I want to change my business. So from 2020 to 2024, I went from the 10 million to 26 million.
Fantastic. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about the tools. I know, so when you started, like what was your, what did you delve into deeper? And tell me what really worked for you in your business to really restructure. And like you said, I think none of us like change, right? But then when we need to grow, we need to take some drastic steps. So which you did, and you accomplished it so well. So tell me what really worked for you.
So the one thing that I did is I knew that I needed more people in my sphere. Like Paula was talking about, I'm really big on relationships. So my natural ceiling, I never have paid for leads. I'm not big on social media marketing. My husband's great at it. He does our agent attraction. I'm not in front of the camera. I don't like it. But I knew that if I had more relationships, that I could build my book of business. So what I took advantage of was revenues. Mm-hmm. And it really changed. It was a mind shift change for me. And I talk to people all the time I hear, I don't want to do revenues. I don't want to do Redfin. I don't want to do because of the higher referral fees. And the one thing that I did was I started looking at it as relationships, just like Paula talked about. They were giving me a relationship. And when I took that relationship and only had to do a one-time fee, that's the mindset I put over, because it is a hefty fee. A lot of people talk about that. It didn't. In 2020, I took my commitment that year was I signed up for over 30 pay at closing lead referral sources, which I'd be happy to give that list out.
Would love it.
Yeah, I took every lead. That was my commitment to myself. It didn't matter if it was $100,000 and it was an hour away and I had to pay a 50% referral fee, because in my mind, and I had learned from some of the classes that I took at EXP, I could turn that into a lifelong client. It was a one-time, and that even if they bought 100,000, they're going to buy again. They're going to send me referrals. They're going to send me their family. And that's what started happening, because I was already good at that relationship. I just needed to add people to my database and my sphere. And that's the avenue. That's the tool that I used. It just started organically growing. It was amazing.
Wow. That's amazing. So I love it. Thank you for sharing. So you use revenues, and do you still use it in your business?
I do. Obviously, it's a little bit more selective now, but the one thing that I also was not good at, that people, the classes that I took, like Jill talked about with EXP, was I had a natural, just like where I would communicate with people and stuff like that, but I was never on purpose with my database in my sphere. Uh-huh. So from my 5 years with EXP, during that time frame, I made my focus. I knew I couldn't really go backwards. I mean, I could, but it was just not time, didn't. So those 5 years, that set of people, I was really on purpose with. Like every day I was on their social media. If, little Johnny was getting, started school, I made sure I sent him something. I kept track of the birthdays, the pets' names. I found out people like their pets more than they do their kids sometimes. It's true. I would just have stuff about the pets. I would just check in, and I was just definitely on purpose. And what I did was I realized I turned every one of those leads, those relationships, into super fans. I started my repeat and referral business just went off the charts, and I've tracked some of them. Where literally I have one deal that I did a year and a half ago, and she's already referred me over $3 million in business.
Wow.
It was a $160,000 house with a 2% buyer broker that I had to pay 50% on, an hour away, and my check was like $905.
Wow.
So if I treated it like just looked at it as a one-time transaction and hadn't taken that, I would have missed out on so much.
Yeah. Talk to me about the mindset shift. Like when you decided 5 years ago that, hey, I'm going to get into this. I'm going to try these new tools. I'm sure you had hesitation. I'm sure there were doubts in your mind. Talk to me about what was that mindset shift that you had? The mindset
shift was I was guilty of, and I hate to say that I was doing the dollars on the incoming lead on whether or not it made sense to do it. So that was the mind shift change for me. And when we actually mentor a lot of our agents. And I think once you can get past that, and they are not, you don't put a dollar sign on the forehead. They are not a one-time transaction. Your business will just, and then 2, we started pulling in charities. I wholeheartedly believe the more you give back, the more you get. So we started trying transactions to charities. So we let people pick charities that they would like to donate to, or we have a couple that we will donate to and do fundraisers for and stuff. So yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, and again, I think that was one thing that Paul and I were talking about was authenticity. And that's kind of your way of giving back to the community, your way of giving back that also shows your authenticity and that, you have that mindset of giving back and it's not only about dollars. I love that.
And it's okay to be a win-win, meaning that when you build a platform, and this is something that I embrace too, when you build a platform for yourself, making more money only allows you to it magnifies who you really are.
Yes.
And so when we started it when people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. So when you're in your nonprofits, we have 2 of them that we've actually co-founded. We're in a bunch of them that we do charity stuff where it's okay to ask for business. Agents need to get over that because they feel icky about it. But people, who better for them to do business with than someone's already aligned with them, core values, whether that's, charities, church, passions. And so I got more on purpose with that too. And made it a win-win with giving back, whatever the forum was, whatever the platform was. So the bigger platform you build for yourself, the more you can give, the more you can get.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I really want to emphasize what you said about the mindset shift in terms of stop looking at the dollar signs on the forehead. It's all about relationship. Like you just mentioned, one $900 check from one transaction gave you 3 million. You never know where that comes from. And I think to be true to your clients and be able to provide them the best that you can really can catapult you. I love it. I want to know the 3 things that you do consistently every week that helped you stay on top of your game.
So one thing that people that are a little bit more like me might, I'm not good with schedules. So some people out there can breathe easy. I know there's probably a lot of real estate coaches. I don't time block. I'm not good with schedules. But one thing that I am consistent with, like I told you, the social media is everybody that comes into, we make it a point to put them into our social media. And every day when I get in, the first thing I look is the birthday list.
Yeah.
Because that makes you, as long as they have their birthday in there, you can touch them. But we don't just do a little like typing thing. I leave them a 15-second video, like in their video that just says, "Hey, I want to wish you a happy birthday." And so front mind awareness that at least puts one touch a year, you're guaranteed, back in front of them. So that's one thing I'm very, very consistent with. We do a client appreciation party. We do 2 of them a year. So we're always inviting them to, it's just, that's our two a year touch along with the birthday. What was my 3rd one?
That's okay. We'll take 2.
Yeah, let's just say it's probably I'm very, very, very active. Like I said, in my nonprofits and I'm in my groups that I'm in. I'm always asking for business. I put it in a way where it's like for our nonprofits, whatever nonprofit you're in, just saying if you're gonna do real estate this month with me, we're gonna give 10% back to the charity or 15%, and then with our I'm in the bourbon world, so I always post something. Hey, I know who gives the best closing gifts. So it's non-invasive ways of asking for business.
Love it. So ask for business, and you're intentional about it. You also do on social media, so lots of social media, or at least being intentional about the relationship that you're building.
Touches.
I love it. The touches. Okay, 2 last things. So one is, what should real estate agents not be doing? And one is, what is one takeaway that you'd like for them to take away for the month of May?
So the takeaway month of May would be, if you're in build mode, obviously there's probably agents out there that might, like Jill, that may not be in build mode, but if you're in build mode and you want to add to, the only way is to add to your sphere, definitely sign up for those. And like I said, I'll be happy to put my thing in the text chat, but I'll send the 30 places where you get paid at closing. So I definitely sign up for those, or as many of those as you can, get qualified for those. Sign up for certifications with Revenos. Those are immediate as soon as you get certified. And the one thing that you don't do, I'm just going to go back to, do not treat people like they're a transaction. Build the relationships, no matter what price point, no matter what referral fee, and turn them into super fans.
Love it. Turn them into super fans. I love that. Fantastic. This was amazing. Thank you so much, Stacey. And we will come back to you at the end. Thank you. All right. Last but not the least, we have Elizabeth. Hi, Elizabeth. You're muted.
There we go.
Awesome.
Okay. Hi.
All righty. How are you doing today?
I'm good. And you?
Fantastic. Fantastic. So tell me a little bit about yourself, Elizabeth.
So I'm in Northeast Missouri. I'm in Kirksville. I'm probably in the smallest community of anyone who's on this video today. And I've been here for about 30 years. I'm a lifetime Missouri girl, lived all over the state and settled up here about 30 years ago. I came to EXP 2 years ago, so I've only been an agent for about 4 years, but I started with another local brokerage and figured out very quickly that I needed more training and a team behind me. So I was really excited to come to EXP.
Fantastic. Well, we're glad to have you, and congratulations for being on the top 250. So tell me, you made Icon Agent your second year.
Actually, I did my first year and my second year.
Fantastic. So both years you made Icon. And talk to me a little bit, like, what is it that is really working in your business?
Well, so I have always kind of had a heart for service. I like to get involved in the community. I have dabbled in many different areas of service, and I think that really works for me more than anything else because I have a lot of connections. And one of my mentors early on in real estate said, think of real estate as a love connection, a glorified love connection. You're connecting people who want to sell with people who want to buy. So, making those connections and knowing people, the more people you know and have in your sphere of influence, the easier the sell.
Yeah, absolutely. So are there any systems or strategy that you use? Like, how do you focus your time on income generating activities, as we say, versus everything else?
Sure. So I have a background in business. And so I sort of approached real estate as a small business and wanted to build a team. And when I started in real estate, I was probably like many of you, juggling everything. I did it all. The marketing, the customer service, the transaction coordination, everything. So when I came to EXP, that gave me the opportunity to kind of tap into the teams that they already had. Of course, the compliance team, the transaction team, the broker team. But then I added to that. And so I added a transaction coordinator who, allows me to go out and do things like this or meet with clients and have lunch and not be so rushed because she's behind the scenes keeping track of all the transaction coordination. And then I also added a marketing company. So I work with Fusion Partners. Highly recommend them. Would be happy to tell anybody about how they work. But their whole focus, and I know a couple of the other speakers have talked about how important this is, but tapping into and connecting with your sphere of influence. So identifying who those people are who already know and love you, and asking them for referrals. Asking them if you can interview for the job, if you can come out and talk with them about listing their house. And so once you're working with people who already know you, it just makes the process so much easier. And when they're telling other people to call you, they're giving you a thumbs up before you ever have the conversation, which makes it so much easier.
Yes, absolutely. I know you talked about marketing. So tell me a little bit more, like, what do you do? So how does this third party help you? And then what is it that you do in your business to really get your name and your brand out there?
Sure. So I've always had the theory, like, you can't sell something if nobody knows it's for sale.
Yeah.
So I'm in a small community. So I started out with a billboard, right? So I put my face on the billboard and I said, hey, I'm a realtor now, right?
Love it.
And it's amazing to me still that people say, oh yeah, I see your face every time I go into town. I'm sorry about that. But it works, so then you're top of mind. So I do that, but social media has been huge for me. I know several have talked about social media. And I'm of the age that I have a lot of people on Facebook that I connect with, but I know Jill said, if you're of the younger generation, you may not be looking at Facebook. But what I would say about that, when you're thinking about marketing, you need to be thinking about what is your target market. Who are the people that you want to connect with? And what kind of realtor are you wanting? Are you looking for commercial clients? Are you looking for, I'm in a rural community, I'm looking for farm and home land type, folks that are wanting to live outside in a rural community. You may be looking for first-time home buyers. You may be looking for luxury. So identify who your market is, and then figure out where they are. Where are they getting their information? Where are they getting their marketing? And for me, since I like to get involved in the community, what community things are they involved in? How can you jump in and be a part of that and meet those people? So even though I'm of the older generation, I also identified that I want to work with those older folks, who are selling their farms and downsizing and moving to town, and so that's where I'm finding them, is on Facebook.
Love it.
I do a little bit of the Instagram, and Fusion is fantastic. They I put the information in and say, hey, I have a new transaction, and then they blast it out to all of my, and I'm on LinkedIn and I'm on Instagram, and so they blast it all out there to everybody, and they kind of think I'm doing so much because they see me all the time, but it's really just Fusion behind the scenes, making sure that everybody knows what's going on.
I like that because sometimes so many of us are so overwhelmed because there's so much that we have to do, and instead of not doing it, find those resources, find those things that you can help. For example, you have your transaction coordinator. I mean, we have a whole team of office, back end office that does it, because that's not my strong suit. And I'm just like, okay, I'd rather give that to somebody who takes care of it. And similarly, marketing, we all need to do marketing. We all need to do social media. So find the resources that will help you do it so that you can shine where, your strengths are. So I love that, Elizabeth. And I'll say, I'm not calling ourselves old. We're just the OG.
Okay, I'll go with that. I won't tell my children.
Exactly. You just tell them, hey, I'm the OG, okay? But before I let you go, I want to ask you the same question. What is one thing that you want real estate agents not to do, and your one takeaway for the month of May, so that they can propel their business?
Okay, so my one to not to do, because I did it for 2 years, don't do it all yourself.
Yeah.
And I think you just said it all. Figure out where your strengths are. What are you really good at? If you're good at connecting with people, and you're maybe not as good with the details, something that I fall back on, because I have a little bit of a teaching background, is doing a personality test. Do the free MBTI and figure out what your personality is. I'm an ENTP. I'm entrepreneurial, and so I don't do the details.
Yeah.
And I know that about myself. So find an expert. Find someone you want to work with. And I love marketing, but when I do it myself, I'm not consistent because I get busy. Everybody does. You're busy with the transaction. You're busy with the repairs. You don't have time to be consistent. And so I needed someone who could be consistent with the marketing, even though I do have some say in it with Fusion. I did make a lot of the decisions about how it looks, but they're consistently sending out something that is branded to me, and people notice that. So, yeah. So don't do it all yourself.
Yes. No, I love it. Awesome. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. It was so great to have you. And I'm going to have everybody come on stage so we can do a quick Q&A. Awesome. Ladies, this was so much fun. I mean, we've totally got to do this again, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. So
I
tell
just
me,
wish we could all get together and have wine. Did you say something about wine?
I think next time when we do a virtual meetup, I just need to send wine to all of y'all, and then we just open it right there. I love it. Thank you all so much. But as we are waiting for questions, let's see, I have some of my own, so I'm going to go with this. But whoever wants to go with this first can do that. But what do you wish more women in real estate knew or believed earlier in their journey?
That women make fantastic realtors.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
We do 100%.
I think for women, it's not, you're not just it's not about the numbers. It's about caring for, taking care of, teaching, helping people to have homes. And I think
Yes.
that matters.
I've found in my years, to me, a product has a gender, and homes are really, I think we're at an advantage. Because like when you buy a car, you really probably, most of us want to talk to a man. I don't know why. It's just association. But a house is very much an emotional purchase.
Mm-hmm.
And people are, in my opinion, gravitate towards women with it. And that's, I mean, a lot of our heavy hitters, when you just look at our production numbers, really are women-driven teams and or solo agents.
Yeah. No, absolutely. You know, we did for Win, we did a series on imposter syndrome, and it was, there were so many, and it was an amazing series. We had women that were super vulnerable, and they came out and they shared, and so many times I feel like the self-doubt creeps in before they hit that I don't know what to say, like that point, that pivot in their life when they're just like, you know what, I really don't care what anybody thinks or says, I'm just gonna do it. But prior to that, I think there is a lot of self-doubt that creeps in. And have you ever had self-doubt?
I have it every day.
Yeah.
I wonder what I'm doing. And but this is type, Enneagram 1 for any of us out there that are Enneagram 1. That's me. Yeah, I'm always feeling like I'm disappointing somebody. I'm not getting back to somebody fast enough, which I am. But my thoughts always are that I'm probably just terrible at what I'm doing. But I don't need anybody to tell me I'm doing good. I'm like my own worst critic, and I'm not like down on myself all the time, but I'm always thinking how I can do better.
Yeah, I love it. So what do you do? Do you have like a daily practice? Do any of you have a daily practice that you do in the mornings? Like, do you have a morning routine? Is there something that helps you get into that mindset of, you know what? I was going to use a swear word. I'm not going to, but like, you know what? Whatever it is, I'm just going to stop and move forward.
I just think for that question specifically, every single day when I have to do something, when I think about the thing that I have to do, I just get up and do it. And I feel like that's just the easiest way just to go through the day. It's just like whenever any client's like writing you like, oh, can I go see these houses? I'm like, yeah, let's go right now.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, let's go right now. And then they get excited. I don't know. But I usually think that like what has changed for me now that I'm like so busy and everything, it's just like, just do it. Like, just get it over and done with for the day. And then just keep pushing to the next day.
Well, and I would just say, I feel like we all know this that are up here, and lots of you guys that are listening, is just answer your phone. Like I had somebody call me to list a house for them, and they said they called 5 realtors, and they said they were gonna pick the realtor that answered the phone, because they said that was going to be probably the person that answered the phone when calls came in to show the house. And I was the 5th one they called, and I answered the phone, and they just said, okay, you got the deal. And I thought, great, $700,000. Just pick up the phone.
I'm going to go a little bit different direction in that. One of the things that if I wholeheartedly feel that if I can't give someone the best version of myself, I'm not doing them justice. So in the morning, I don't do morning time as my time, meditation and stuff like that, and just getting grounded. Also, what's important to me is very important to me, which is I have, cultural commitments and stuff that I personally don't miss.
Yeah.
If I lose someone because of that, it's just, it is what it is, that they don't understand, because most of my clients know me because I built that relationship like Paula talked about. I will be there for them. There is no doubt. But if they can't sacrifice the hour that's important to me, I'm just not doing myself justice.
Yeah.
So very, very true to myself and making sure, because like I said, I want to give them the best version of myself. And if I can't do that, if I'm not true to myself.
Love it. So you
I
have non-negotiables that you're like, okay, these are my non-negotiables. I love you, but this is for me.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
that kind of
how I
goes back to the not every client is a good client.
Yes.
I had to tell myself that early on because, if they're beating you up to the point that you're not good for anybody else, then they're not a good client,
Yeah.
And
Really fired
Yeah, and
clients.
if they're
sometimes it's a personality thing, and you got to say, you know what, this one's bad energy. I got to just wash this off and move on.
yeah, that's exactly what it is. Or whenever they're constantly late, I usually set that tone from the beginning. Like our appointments at 1:00. I don't care if you get there at 1:15. I'm not there anymore. Like that's just
Yes.
it. You either are there at 1:00 or go ahead with the other realtor. That's not even gonna show up. Like no.
Because you got to be, because you got to consider you've got all these other clients who are expecting the best from you. So you can't let one drag you down. You got to just let it go and not.
And Smita, I'm going to say one more thing about women in the business. We mentor a lot of younger ladies coming in. If anybody has kiddos, I don't think there's a better industry out there that is more welcoming to that. Like my son's 25. I've been in the business 28 years, so he was born and raised in it. I took him everywhere. And people, when people are buying a family home, family is what this is all about.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got to keep them well behaved and stuff like that. But I just think it's a great industry for someone that has a young family or still wants to build a family. And you can't get that in corporate America. You're not taking, you know what I mean? So I think if anybody's even thinking about it, or if they are trying to finagle both, don't blend it. Your clients will absolutely embrace it. I think most of them.
That's
great.
yeah.
I agree with you so much. And there's all the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and we've all got those. And I started my real estate career when my kids were already out of school. And I look back now and I'm like, whoa, I missed a whole world of, connections. And it's okay. It wasn't my time. But I look now at realtors with young kids and I think you're building, you're coaching, you're coaching kids that may call you to buy a house in 10 years. All those things that I kind of missed out on. So I mean, I think it's great.
It's an amazing career choice for women.
I agree. I actually, when my kids, I mean, now they're 14 and 16, but when they were younger, I took them to, showings. And of course, knock on wood, they're well behaved. I don't know what happens when they become teenagers. That's different. But yeah, they were like good. And they were like, okay, mom, let me go. Can I go see the house? I'm like, yeah, let's go see it. And then as I'm showing them, they're hanging out there. So, and people like it. I mean, some of my clients would love it. They'd have a conversation with them and they're building a relationship with me. Next time I see them, they're asking me about my kids.
Oh, and keep in mind too what you're building with your kiddos, because EXP is building with the stock, the ownership. Literally our son is taking his real estate classes right now. It's literally a family business and you're instilling that into him early.
100%.
And I'll just add one thing because I love what you said. So our son is 25 too. Stacey, we were probably pregnant at the same time, but our oldest son, he got his real estate license last year, and he sold 25 homes, and he tagged along with my husband all these years. So it's fabulous to see that, and he's like a specialty at first time home buyers, of course, because he was a first time home buyer. So it's neat to see what it can become.
You know what? That actually brings up a good point. I know we're kind of spirit, but I tell our younger agents too, if we have some on here, grow with your market. That's one of the things I teach them right off the bat. Just like you said, if you are a younger agent, focus your marketing, like Elizabeth said, figure out who your target marketing is on first-time home buyers, and they will literally grow with you. 28 years, people that I sold houses to in the early 2000s have now bought like 5 houses from us. So grow with your market, and even your lenders and your title companies too, your reps, grow with your business.
Yeah. And that brings it back to that authentic relationship with them. It's not a transaction, it's a relationship, because if that's how we see it, you're going to grow with them when they go to their second home, third home, fourth home, eventually retirement home. You're going to be with them through it all. So yes, absolutely. And Jill, I wanted to touch upon one thing that you said is to pick up your phone. It is so interesting. I did residential for the longest time and moved completely into commercial. And that is one culture that I am changing with my team, because I'm just like, commercial agents are known to not to pick up their phone.
That's
And
right.
I've told my
My
team,
husband.
I don't care who calls, you pick up the damn phone. Like, I will pick up my phone, even if it's a number that I don't know, because I'm just like, I'm going to change this culture because I've had about enough with this. So yes, I agree with that. Pick up your phone, guys. That's awesome. I had such a blast, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us today. And, I'd love to do deep dives with each one of you. If you're wanting to come in and do a master class, you're more than welcome. I mean, y'all have so much to give, and we appreciate everything that y'all are doing. Thank you, ladies, so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
ladies.
Bye.